when kamikaze submarines attacked the U.S. Ghosts in the water. Pacific Ocean, 1945. The USS Winslow sliced through the dark waters off the coast of Okinawa. The war was supposed to be ending, but the sea held secrets. Lieutenant Commander William Will Carter stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the horizon through binoculars. He didn't like silence. Silence meant something was waiting. "Still nothing on sonar?" he asked, voice tight. "Negative, sir," replied Ensign Reed from below. But the water's playing tricks again. Getting false echoes. Carter narrowed his eyes. False echoes. That had become common in recent weeks. The Japanese weren't just sending planes anymore. There were whispers among the fleet of something new, something worse. "Caton," Carter muttered. "Sir?" Reed asked. "Suicide submarines. One-man torpedoes, guided by pilots. If they're out here, we'll never see them coming." The Winslow was a destroyer escort, built for speed and subhunting. But Carter had learned never to underestimate desperation. Japan was on the brink, and a dying empire was a dangerous one. Beneath the surface, in a metal tube no larger than a coffin, 22-year-old Hiro Tanaka gripped his controls. Sweat trickled down his temple. He was buried alive in his Caton, his heartbeat louder than the hum of the torpedo's engine. He'd volunteered for this. Not out of fanaticism, but because his older brother had died in a firebombing raid. Now he would become a blade in Japan's final strike. Ahead, through a narrow viewport, he saw the faint shadow of the Winslow. His target. He reached for the ignition switch. One press, and he would become the missile. But something stopped him. A memory. His mother's hands, calloused from the rice fields. Her face, tear-streaked at the train station. He blinked. Steeled himself. He could not afford weakness. Back on the Winslow, sonar lit up. Contact. Fast-moving, bearing 070. Carter snapped to action. All engines ahead flank. Prepare depth charges. Reed's voice cracked. "It's coming straight for us, sir." Carter didn't hesitate. "Fire pattern Delta. Blow that thing out of the water." Explosions ripped the ocean behind them. Geysers shot into the air. The ship rocked violently. Then silence. Sonar cleared. "Contact lost," said Reed, exhaling. "We got it." Carter didn't believe it. "No, we didn't. It just stopped broadcasting. It's still out there." He was right. Hiro had pulled back at the last moment, diving deeper, skimming the ocean floor. He hadn't expected depth charges so soon. His fingers trembled. He was alive, but barely. Air was limited. The oxygen gauge blinked red. Carter stood over the sonar screen. "They're using the Caton like wolves. Testing our reaction, then circling back." "We've already dropped half our charges," Reed warned. "If more are coming." "They will," Carter said. "Desperation makes men do terrible things." He looked at the water, knowing there were eyes beneath, watching. Just then, sonar chirped again. "Two more contacts," Reed shouted. "Smaller than subs. Fast. They're flanking us." Carter felt ice settle in his veins. "They're boxing us in." "Orders?" Carter thought fast. "Rig for silent running. Cut engines. Prepare a decoy." The Winslow fell silent. The decoy, a sound emitter, was launched west. It mimicked engine noise, creating a false trail. Below, Hiro's scope lit up. Movement. He steered toward it. Another Caton surged beside him. Sato, his closest friend, on a parallel attack run. They'd trained together. Now they would die together. They followed the decoy. But something didn't feel right. Hiro's controls buzzed. Fluctuations in sound. He remembered a lesson during training. When the enemy goes quiet, they're setting a trap. He pulled back again. Sato didn't. Sato struck the decoy and exploded. The blast rocked the sea. On the Winslow, cheers erupted. "Got one." But Carter wasn't smiling. "Where's the second?" Reed scanned. "Still down there. Circling." "Smart," Carter said. "He's thinking." Hiro surfaced briefly for air, hidden behind a rocky outcrop. He had one shot left. One decision. But doubts crept in. This wasn't war, it was suicide. He'd seen what death looked like. But for the first time, he wondered what life could look like. Then his dashboard blinked. The Winslow had powered up. Engines active. They were moving again. A target. A second chance. He pressed forward. The Caton surged toward the destroyer. Alarms blared on the Winslow. He's coming. Fast. Brace for impact. Carter shouted. Depth charges were too slow. Guns useless. Reed turned. There's nothing we can do, sir. But Carter was watching the sonar closely. The Caton wasn't on a straight line. It was veering off.
Why?
The crew held their breath. The torpedo passed beneath them. No explosion. No impact. Reed said, confused. Carter stared. He missed us on purpose. Hero floated in silence. He had aimed and turned at the last second. He couldn't do it, not out of fear, but choice. He ejected from the Caton, allowing it to sink. Alone in the water, he removed his helmet, gasping the sea air. A spotlight hit him. The Winslow had found him. Guns aimed. Should we fire, sir? Carter looked through binoculars. A young man, arms raised, floating. No, Carter said quietly. Bring him aboard. Hiro Tanaka was the first Caton pilot ever captured alive. He spoke little, but when asked why he didn't strike, he gave one answer. I remembered I was still human. Years later, Will Carter would tell the story of the day they were saved, not by superior firepower, but by a decision not to kill. A reminder that even in war, the most powerful weapon is mercy.